Hiya, just me. I'm going to do a video. I'm just going to talk about the links between MK Ultra programming and the mass stage, because basically on mass they've done this on mass to everyone. I went through MK Ultra as a child. And what that does is to split the left and the right brain. Now, trauma does that. We all have experience. There's millions of connections between the left and the right brain, and this naturally develops as a child, mainly through the interactions mum and dad interacting with one another, and we start to learn how the male and the female interact with one another. So if we've got good parenting and mum and dad have a good relationship, then it's a better link between the left and the right brain. However, that's generally not the case with everyone. Mums and dads have trauma and they've also suffered. So connecting their left and brain has been they've had trauma, and then that goes down to us, and trauma disconnects us from the body. Now, the left side of the brain is everything that you are. Your emotional self, it's your higher self, your soul, it's your consciousness, and the right brain is the decoder of that, and it's the one that creates the physical reality. It's the one that intensifies the emotions that the heart feels, so we can feel who we are through our physical body, and that is a threat to the reason I went into the programming. And the whole purpose was to split the left and the right brain so I wouldn't be in contact with who I am. And how they did that, I'll tell you a story. So there was programming. So there was programming at school, there was programming at the BBC, there was programming. I went to the Palace, I went to the Cathedral, London, the big London one, manor houses in Derbyshire. There's loads of places that took place. But there was a place in London, so I had a handler. This handler would be in charge of my programming. So he was a programmer, but he worked directly for the royal family, and he worked at an office in London, and he would take me there. One incident that they would do is I would be in this room. There would be no light. Remember, no light in this room, natural light. And they would bring an animal in, and then they would slit the animal's throat, and the animal would be crying, and I'll be left in the room with this animal just dying in front of me, and very traumatic. Yeah. So and then after that I'd be taken to the handler, and like this handler, emotionless. There's no emotion. You couldn't connect with him. He didn't give a there's no compassion or anything in these people. They didn't care. And then I was taken to Jimmy Savile's place. I was taken, we went to another apartment, and I was met by Jimmy Savile and went into his place, and the handler left me there, and Jimmy Savile said to get undressed, and I was about 5 years old, and there was a pentagon on the floor, and he asked me to lay down, and he was a bit different. He was like a portal. So when he was doing this ritual, it was like all these beings walked through him, very dark beings, and I don't know who they were, but I assume they were connected to the Watchers, but I don't know, I'd have to go back and look. But then he would rape me, and then after the trauma that he induced on me, he he quietly whispered to me, and what he tried to get me to convince me that I had killed the animals in the room, that it was me that killed the animals, that I caused the pain and the trauma on these animals. He tried to get me to believe it. Now, he was trying to change the narrative of what took place, and how that is done easier for them is when the heart leaves. Now, any trauma that go through, the left brain disconnects, it just doesn't want to be in the body. We go into like a hiding. We go away from the body because the trauma is too much, that we don't want to feel the fear. In order for someone to come really into their body and really be present in their body is safety. But if there's something that's going on and the safety's not there and they become frightened, they leave the body, and it leaves the right side of the brain by itself. And then it's far more susceptible to lies, manipulation, being deceived, because you haven't got the heart to tell you the truth. The truth is not available because the heart holds the truth. It can see outside the physical reality. It can see a bigger picture, where the right side of the brain just sees what's going on in the now. So when they leave, when the heart goes away because of fear, that's when they start the programming. So the whole, if I look at the patterns of the programming I went through, they would induce trauma, and then they would program me. They would try to get me to convince me of something else. And they basically tried to make me very frightened of who I was. And yeah, now if you look at 9/11 or any big events, they induce the trauma. People leave emotionally. They feel very frightened of where they are, so their hearts go into like real protection mode, scared. And then the narrative is to give you a story that is not the truth. And it can be very hard to discern because the heart is too scared to actually tell you the truth because it's not in the body. And if you look at the news, my mum's here this week and she loves the news, and it's just horrendous. It's just the trauma, like to get you really, really frightened. The one thing the heart needs, one thing we need, is to feel safe, and that's when we can be ourselves and truly express who we are. And if it doesn't have that, if we don't have that safety, then we are in between two worlds, in the non physical world to the physical world. And a lot of what I do is getting people to come more into their body, to allow them to feel their emotions. People don't feel their emotions as strongly as they should because they've been so traumatized that their heart goes outside of the body. And part of coming into the body and allowing us to feel who we are and feel the truth of who we are and express that truth is actually to allow the emotions to come through. This is connecting the left and the right brain together. And so the royal family and were masters at this, and I'm sure it probably runs through all the royal families and what they've done, and one of probably tens of thousands of people that they've done this to. But yeah, they've done it to the whole of the collective. You've all gone through it. Everyone's gone through it. Some more intently than others, but yeah, everyone goes through this MK Ultra. So if, say, alien invasion happens or something like that, is to get you to split and not feel the truth. And part of the waking up and part of why people didn't take the manipulation or deceptions that they wanted through the virus and didn't do what they wanted to do, with the injection and stuff, because they stayed true to their heart. They could feel the truth in their heart. They didn't allow the fear to get to them. Therefore, they were able to make a independent choice for themselves. And the people that ran and got what the government wanted, their hearts were so in fear that the mind just worked on the information that was available to them in the physical reality. So the difference to how they keep people asleep is through the trauma. So yeah. Okay, just to let you know, I've got a course that starts next week, a level 1 course, and I teach people how to basically connect with their hearts more, and that's your psychic side. It's your psychic side. It's you're able to heal yourself. So it's a course on able to heal yourself and connect the left and the right brain together, and understand many things. You can understand so much through the connection through your heart. So that starts next week. If you'd like to join, I do the Q&As every couple of weeks, and join Patreon if you wish. And I think I have one healing group session available. I think there's a spot available if you'd like to join that. And that's we meet every couple of weeks, and I'll look at it's like a healing group, and I see about 25 people in a day, and I just look at whatever that's come up at that time in their life. I can have a look if it's something physical or emotional, relationships. There's loads of things that can come up and just help people. So yeah. Okay. You take care. Thanks for listening. Bye.